So there is no way that we can get through past this. The reason is, as you guys read the title of this video, I am gonna follow stassiebaby makeup tutorial. I think she just uploaded today, if I'm not mistaken. And when I saw it, I'm like, maybe if I do my makeup like her, I can look like her. Just trying to get into the fantasy. I put on this hair clip. It doesn't really do anything, but let me just feel my oats. So I already prepared my skin, I've done my skincare. Also this is pretty obvious, but if I don't have the same product as her, I'm just gonna use whatever I have. I have some products that she have, but if I don't have it, I'm just gonna use whatever I have because she's so pretty. Oh my god.
And I start with my brows. I use them.
Oh, so she started with her brow first. Okay, she did her brows pretty normal. She started with her brow. She uses Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. I don't have that product, so I'm just gonna use whatever eyebrow pencil that I have. I'm using this Go1 Cosmetics Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. This is one of my favorite brow pencil. I don't usually like a sword tip pencil, but this is small enough. So I'm just gonna fill in the end part with tiny little strokes. Also, I got contact dermatitis because I dyed my hair black, and then the black hair dye leave black stain all over my hairline. So I took a fiber cloth and micellar water and just scrub through my hairline. But I think I scrub this part way too passionately, and I got contact dermatitis from it. Also, my tips for doing eyebrows is always do your ugly brow first and then do your pretty brows. If I do this one first and then it turns out hella pretty, and copying it here, it's a mental struggle. So do the ugly one first and then you can do the pretty one, and then it's just gonna look similar. So I'm just gonna fill my brows in with tiny little hair stroke. So this is as good as it's gonna get. We're gonna move forward. What's the next step, Stassie?
And I'm gonna lightly carve out the bottom and prep my eye with concealer.
After she draw her brows on, she carve it out with a concealer. I actually have the same concealer that she uses, but it's slightly too light for me, so I'm gonna mix it with my skin color concealer. So I'm gonna mix these two concealer. It's the Kosas Revealer Concealer in the shade 6.50. Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer in the shade 3N. And also I'm gonna use this small concealer brush to carve my brows out. So I already have both of the concealer on my hand. I'm just gonna mix it with this brush and I'm gonna carve my brows, I guess. I'm sorry, but I cannot talk while doing this, so here's the moment of silence of me doing my brows. Also, she bring the concealer on her lid. I'm just gonna do that a little. And then, with a wet beauty blender, she just tap it in. I'm gonna go back with that concealer again to cover that up because see, also the problem with my brows is the inner part of my brows on this side is lower than this. I really cannot have the understanding of my brows, to be honest. I just hope and pray for the best. These brows don't even look morbidly similar.
I'm gonna set a concealer and I go over my brow a little bit.
Okay, after blending all the concealer in, she did set her eyelid with a powder. I'm gonna use, y'all already know, this MLP Beauty powder. I love this powder so much, and I'm gonna use this small brush to set everything in. She also set her eyebrows, which I always do too. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of that powder, and I'm just gonna dust off my lid and my brows.
I just use this Makeup by Mario palette.
I have the same palette.
The Master Max eyeshadow palette.
You take the Makeup by Mario Master Matte palette and some sort of crease brush. This is what I have that look kind of similar to what she have. This is a really old brush. I think this is the Sigma E40 brush. So she uses like this shade and this shade, blending it in. And I'm gonna run it through my crease, I guess. This literally does nothing to me. So I took a foot break because my mom bought me bakso. So I'm like, I gotta eat first. Anyway, yeah, so she uses these two shades, but it doesn't really do anything to me. So I'm gonna mix this and this instead. Oh, and she like to kind of go above her crease. Like she said, if her crease ends here, she go above it. So that's what we're gonna do. At least now it shows up a little. She don't really use a lot of it. She almost look like she doesn't have anything on her eyes, so I think that's okay for now. So I'm just gonna do whatever I did on this eye to this eye. Okay, and then like after we're done with the crease, she take like this like small-ish blending brush. I'm using again another Sigma brush. This is really old. This is the Sigma E25. So she initially take this color, but since this color is like, I use it and it literally almost shows nothing. So I'm gonna mix this color and this color, and she run it through like her lash line, and she goes like the outer part of her crease and like kind of blend it in. So I'm just gonna take this brush, run it on my lash line, and bring it up to my outer crease here, and she drag it up. So that's all what she did for the eyes.
Do a line on the bottom and then try and like drag it on top. So here we go.
So she take like a brown liquid liner. Here, this is my only brown liquid liner. It's from Pink Flash. Actually, this is one of my favorite liquid liner. It's literally so affordable and it's anything proof. And she do like a pretty thin but elongated liner. She take the liner from like the outer, this part of her eyes, and like wing it up. And then after she did that, she take it in. Okay, that's actually kind of cute. I'm just gonna blend it into my lash line. That's all I'm gonna do. And now the hardest part, like she said, copying this to this eyes. It's gonna be a challenge. Okay, like that alone take too much time for me. So that's the best that I can get for the liner. I think it looked kind of similar. It actually looked really cute.
I'm going to use Rhode Peptide Glazing Fluid.
Okay, she uses the Rhode Glazing Fluid, the one that Hailey Bieber uses a lot on her Vogue video that she mixes it with foundation and stuff. I don't have that. So since it's like a liquid glowy base, I'm gonna use this Saie Beauty Glowy Supergel in Starglow. This is like a sample size. I always wanted to try this, but like I don't really wanna throw my money getting the full size and end up hating it. So I bought the smaller size. It's a pretty formula. It's very liquidy, but it is very, very glowy. So I'm just gonna like rub it all over my face. As you guys can see, this make your skin look so dewy, which I really, really love. And I actually bought this tiny little thing because like I really want to do like a full face of like clean beauty. So if you guys want to see that, comment down below or just like DM me on my Instagram. So yeah, hit me up.
2 shades of the Flawless Filter, the Charlotte Tilbury.
Okay, so she uses this Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter and she uses it as a foundation. So she apply it all over her face. But before that, since I am a creature of pores, I just need to counteract the pores. So I'm gonna use this e.l.f. body primer on my cheeks and a bit on my forehead just to tame down the pore a little, because like this base right now is super, super glowy and I'm just trying to look as porcelain like as possible. So now that I apply my body primer, I'm just gonna use this all over my face. This is literally what she does. Like she uses it as a foundation and she just apply it everywhere. So I'm just gonna use like this buffing brush. It's an old Zoeva brush. It's a silk finish brush. So I'm just gonna like press everything in. I look like a disco ball, I feel like.
I'm gonna use the shade 6.2 from the Kosas concealer. I really love this concealer.
Now she takes this Kosas concealer. I use in the shade 6.50. And she basically put a few line here, some on her forehead, on her nose, this my chin, and like smile line. I haven't used this much concealer in a really long time. She take like a wet beauty blender and she just like blend it all in. And I'm just gonna blend this part first. I really love this concealer because like, this concealer is actually really creamy and I just love it, and it blends so well. And now I'm just gonna blend my under eyes.
I'm gonna use the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate palette.
Okay, like I don't have that Tom Ford contouring palette. She uses a Makeup by Ariel brush. So I'm gonna use this Real Technique, old Real Technique brush. For the bronzer, I'm gonna use this NARS bronzer, y'all already know. I think I want to put a little bit more concealer here before continuing bronzing, so be right back. Okay, so like I've concealed my dermatitis spot and I'm just gonna bronze over it. She applied the bronzer on her nose too, but like she take the brush and like pinch it. Actually kind of worked, but I don't like it. So I'm just gonna take this Sigma brush that we use for the eyes and just contour my nose with it. And she take the same beauty blender and just like press everything together so it all looks seamless.
And then my favorite part is cream blush.
Okay, so the next step, she uses blush. I don't have the blushes she used, but I think I have like a similar color. So for blush, I'm gonna use this Polka blush. It's their collaboration with like Chupa Chups, the lollipop brand. It's in the shade Strawberry and Cream. And I'm gonna use this stippling brush and I'm just gonna take it in. And she basically put it all over her face, literally all over her face. Like she placed it like around this area. And then she put it on her nose.
I'm gonna tap it in my beauty blender and press it into my under eye.
Okay, after all this step, she like make sure there's no crease and like bake. Hold on, I need to wet another beauty blender because like I don't like to use the same beauty blender for powder and cream. So I'm just gonna blend my concealer. I'm gonna take this sponge, take some of the powder, and just like she's kind of like pressing it in a little. So that's what I'm gonna do too. Then she take like a big fluffy brush, dust it off and right away, and whatever powder is in this brush, we're gonna set our face with this. So that's what I'm gonna do. I mean, not gonna lie, my under eyes look kind of flawless.
Go back over where I put the Tom Ford cream.
After she powdered all over her face, she uses like a powder bronzer. She uses the Hoola Benefit. I don't have that. So I'm gonna use this Liz Beauty bronzer and this kind of fluffy brush and just put it on wherever you put the cream bronzer to basically intensify the cream bronzer that you put on. Also, like if you bronzer, blend it into your hairline because like it's really my pet peeve when I see some girls or like some guys or like whoever with makeup on and like they have like a white line here. It's like the demarcation of their hairline and like their skin. Take this brush, push it in so it all looks seamless.
We go in with powder blush. I love Kylie.
Okay, so now she uses powder blush. I'm gonna use this Dear Dahlia powder blush. It's in the shade Retro Rose. It's in this like pretty rosy color. I love blush so much. Like, I think we already know at this point, like, I just love blush. Okay, I've put on the blush, and after this, she took the powder and she bake under here to like make the cheekbone more like, you know. So while we wait for this to like set and highlight, she took like the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless airbrush powder. I don't have that. We don't have that kind of budget here. So I'm gonna use this Rosé All Day powder in the shade medium. It's their realist lightweight compact powder. Some people say this is the dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury powder. I never tried the Charlotte Tilbury powder. I'm just gonna take their word for it. I'm just gonna take it in this like kind of petal brush-y, and then in her word, pack it on under the eyes.
Put some brow gel on.
She uses the Anastasia Beverly Hills clear brow gel. I don't have that, but I have this Kosas airbrow clear brow gel. I feel like I want to add a little bit more blush. Yeah, I feel like that's so much better. Okay, so like we're still baking, and while we wait again, she did lashes. Like she put on some mascara, she curled her lashes. I take my time when I curl my lashes, so I'm gonna do it off camera and I'll be back. Okay, so now I'm back. My mascara is on. I use my favorite mascara. It's this Rosé All Day Thunder Lash. This is their old formula, which equals to the lengthening one, if I'm not mistaken. They have the lengthening one and volumizing one now. This is the lengthening one. I really love this mascara. Like, look at that.
Now we are going to brush off the powder.
Okay, so now we're gonna brush off this powder. I'm gonna use this brush and just like brush it off, you know.
Highlighter in the shade Bestie Energy.
Okay, so now she used a little bit of like highlighter. I'm using, this is the only highlighter I have. This is the Makeover Reach Glow highlighter. It's in this like champagne-y color. So I'm just gonna highlight parts of my face then.
I'm going to be using the stassiebaby lip kit. This is my favorite lip shade.
Okay, so like for the second last step, she uses her collab with Kylie, the lip kit. Again, I don't have that. So since the color of the lip of her lipstick is almost the same color as her lips, it's like rosy pinkish color. So I'm gonna take this Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in the shade Wherever Walnut, and for the lipstick I'm gonna use this Pillow Talk lipstick by Charlotte Tilbury. This is my perfect lip color, like literally. And I'm gonna take this and just do this. I like to round out my cupid's bow. And then she take the concealer brush that she used to carve out the bottom of the brows, and like she cleaned these edges. I don't really do this usually because like I like my lips to be a bit blurred out. So okay, the last step, she just uses like a setting spray, but I ran out of my setting spray, so I'm not gonna do setting spray. This is the final look for me. Okay. So that's the final look, and I actually really like this look. As you guys know, I always like highlight this part of my nose. I just like it. Shout out to my friend Leah. She actually introduces me to highlighting this part of the nose, and I can never stop since. Yeah, I love the blush. I love the liner. I never thought I would like liner this much, and like the complexion in general, like it looks so good. Even in real life, it doesn't look too done up, even though we bake a little. And as usual, if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe, and comment, leave like any pink emoji down below if you want. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell if you want to be reminded on my future upload. And that's all from me today. Bye.